Wednesday, your third favorite day of the week. And the only reason why it's the third favorite day of the week for you is because you really enjoy Fridays, you really enjoy Saturdays. So that puts Nora's Smut Tale right there in the number 3 position. Or number 69 position. Whichever way you want to do it on a Smut Tale Wednesday. It's the Luke Kelly Show. I thank you so much for hitting play. My lovely wife is here, but I don't think she's currently reading a Smut Tale now. You are reading one.
I am, but I literally just started it last night, and so...
There's no good smut yet.
No.
They're just describing characters, getting to the character work. Soon, I'm sure you'll get some smut. How deep into the book are you?
Maybe 10%.
10%. How long does it usually take for a book to get into the nitty-grittiness?
It depends. If you are going for straight like smut, if you're going for taboo, you usually get it within like the second chapter. First chapter, introduce the character. Second chapter, they're banging. Smut, so there's, I guess the way to describe it, there is, picture that like the circle diagram.
Mm-hmm.
So you got...
The ones that are overlapping?
Yes.
Those ones? Okay.
So you got romance, and then you have taboo.
Isn't that a Venn diagram?
I think so. So you got romance, and then you have like taboo. And then where they overlap, that is smut. So you still get the building of the character, the emotional connection, but then you also get the raunchiness of taboo.
Okay.
So you want to meet in the middle. So taboo, if it's basically where if it's
a Venn diagram, by the way.
Okay. So basically, taboo is all sex. You take the sex out, there's like no storyline.
There needs to be a storyline, though.
There are some taboo books that if you took out all of the sex, there would literally be no storyline because the entire storyline is them having sex.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what quote do we got this week?
So this is from the book Try by Ella Frank. And
related to Anne?
No. Oh. Well, she could be. I don't know. I didn't read the book. This is a book that Rachel is currently reading. So this is the synopsis of it because I feel like you need to know the synopsis to understand the quote.
You know, Anne was a big author. Just saying.
One hit wonder.
Ooh, too soon, Nora. Too soon.
Okay. Well, here is the synopsis. Logan Mitchell loves sex, and ever since he realized his raw sexual appeal at a young age, he has no problem using it to his advantage. Men and women alike fall into his bed. After all, Logan is not one to discriminate. He lives by one motto: if something interests you, why not just take a chance and try? And he wants to try Tate Morrison. Just coming out of a 4-year marriage with his ex-wife from hell, a relationship is the last thing on Tate's mind. He's starting fresh and trying to get back on his feet with a new job in an upscale bar in downtown Chicago. The only problem is Tate has caught the unwavering and unwelcome attention of Mr. Logan, a regular at the bar and a man who always gets what he wants. Night after night, Tate fends off the persistent advances and undeniably charismatic man. But after an explosive moment in the bar, all bets are off and he finds his body stirring with a different desire than his mind. As arrogance, stubbornness, and sexual tension sizzle between the two, it threatens to change the very course of their lives. So, you need to know that because Logan is bi. Tate has always been straight. But he ends up having...
But he likes his taint.
No. I don't know.
We'll find out, maybe.
So, this is the quote from Rachel here. The cock in Tate's mouth pulsated, and then a hot jet of salty fluid hit his tongue, shocking his taste buds. He pulled his lips off the man in front of him, and even though he hadn't expected the heat or the flavor, Tate found his curiosity made him swallow. Jesus, you swallowed too? You are perfect. Tate's eyes crawled up the relaxed-looking Logan, and when they met, Tate touched his tongue to his bottom lip. Was it, okay? Logan slid down the door until his ass was on the floor. You literally made my knees give out. Tate leaned forward, but before he kissed Logan, he stopped. What? Logan asked with a raised brow. Do you care if I kiss you? You know, after you just... Are you fucking kidding me? Logan grabbed him and took his mouth in a tongue-thrusting kiss.
Wow. You know what would have made that scene extra special right there?
What, throw a girl in there?
No, that's not what I was going to say. If he just open mouth kissed him, but he didn't swallow all of it, and he put some of his own jizz into his mouth.
How would you feel if that happened?
I wouldn't feel great about that. It would be good for someone else, not for me, okay? I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, you said it would make it better, so I'm assuming that, like...
No, I mean, it seems that was the guy's first time ever experienced or ever doing that.
A guy's first time ever given a blow jibby, and he swallowed.
And he made him quiver.
And he swallowed.
Because he knows that's what dudes like. So he's like, I'm going to do it.
Do you think... You're probably going to hate me for this question. Do you think...
Do I think what?
Who do you think is more... What gender do you think is more skilled at a blowjob? A man, because he knows what it feels like and knows what to do? Or do you just feel like...
That's a very good question. I think...
I wasn't sure how you were going to feel about that question.
I think it's hard.
I wasn't trying to make... Because it's not like a personal question, but like kind of is, but...
No, it's not. I really don't know. Because I'm trying to think of... There's no other thing in life that could really get you prepared for that, is there?
No. I mean,
is there any other practicing or?
I guess the same question would be, are women better at going down on a woman than a guy is, because women have the same parts?
I don't know. That's interesting.
So I wonder, that's why I'm thinking, because he is a man and knows what a blowjob feels like, that he knew what to do to make his knees quiver.
So here's the thing. The first time for either sex, for a girl to do that to another girl, for a guy to do that to another guy, okay? The head game, I think the first time for each individual...
It's a little rough.
...is going to be rough, okay? No matter if they know what their sex likes... It's the act of doing it, but not knowing how good you are at doing it. So it might not translate that first time.
Yeah.
There's going to be a learning curve.
Of course.
And then once you get over that learning curve, I bet you they would. Because they know the movements and stuff that they're looking for. Yeah.
And like, I guess if you do one movement or motion... You're going to know. I guess you would know on the other, on the opposite.
Don't
end.
you think that every person
is different
and their feeling on their body is a little bit different too?
100%,
so
because there's
no matter what, it might take you a little time to figure out what that person truly enjoys.
He's just a natural then.
He's a natural. Some people just have the God-given talent.
And he's just one of them.
He's the one that could walk around and say, listen, I'm the champion at this. I did it one time. Dude came down on his knees. Okay? That's just...
He's going to put it on his resume.
It's a good conversation starter.
And he's a bartender, so he makes a great cocktail and can make a guy fall down on his knees.
And he gives a great cocktail. I don't know if that made sense. I was just trying to use the word cock into that. But
it did. It relayed over to me. You did a good job.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that I did that. But
that was our first male quote.
There we go. It's 2022. We're not
because we did male female with Give Me More, but you still had a girl thrown in there.
For some reason, I thought it was just the two men though that were having sex at that point.
No,
wasn't she in the room?
There was the one scene in Give Me More where they're in the dark room and Hunter gives Drake a blowjob, and they're in the dark room of the club and no one can see. So I guess that one was a male, but there was still a female in the relationship, where this book is truly two men.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other scene in Give Me More, Drake was taking Hunter from behind, and Hunter was thrusting then into, I can't think. It's always the female name. I can never
remember it.
That's
they don't
just
make that big of an impact.
It's just my trademark. I can't think. I know it's not Maggie, and I don't want to give the wrong name. So.
Macy.
No, it wasn't Maggie's from the other book. Maggie's a character in that series, but it's not her. I can't think of the name, but
neither can I because I didn't read it. Ask me how my book's coming along.
Yeah, you said that you were going to read during commercial breaks of Monday Night Raw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So how many chapters did you get done during Monday Night Raw? Because when I gave you the Kindle, when I gave you the iPad, you were at chapter 10.
Yeah, I was just about to start chapter 10. And then I was watching Monday Night Raw. And then during commercial breaks,
TikTok just got to you?
That son of a bitch just creeps up. Goes, hey, you haven't checked me in a while. And then I just scroll because that's entertaining and captivating like right away.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying a story can't be that, but just right out of the gates, you're still laying the groundwork,
they put
telling
that, good
that
video
story.
On your For You page first video to hook you.
Yeah, it does. You just start scrolling through a book. You got to pay a little bit more attention. And I don't think I would be able to fully comprehend during commercial breaks. Just because it would be 2 minutes of reading, putting it down.
Yeah, I get that.
And then 10 minutes goes by, another 2-minute commercial break comes up. And it's like, where did I leave off at?
Yeah, I have those moments. We're also very different because I get ready for bed at like 9:30. I'm in bed at 10, and I read from 10 to 11.
Right.
Because I need a literal full hour of
educational time.
Not educational time, but I literally need a full hour to decompress of reading to literally calm down so I can fall asleep.
Yeah, you just need to calm down.
I know. Taylor
Can
Swift.
you just not?
I can't because it's midnight. It's Taylor Swift Midnight's week. But I need literally a full hour of reading because I can't just go to bed and go right to sleep. Where you come upstairs at like 10:50, 11 o'clock, and you crawl into bed and you're like, okay, good night, give me a kiss. And then you're like, turning off the bedroom lights, and I like look at you and I'm like, and then you're asleep within 10 minutes. You're still asleep before me.
It's time to get to bed.
You can literally you can literally crawl into bed and be like, it's time to go to sleep, and go to sleep. Where like I have to read for an hour so that way my eyes are tired.
Well, you started to pop melatonin too. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit.
That is helping.
By the way, I do have to say this while you're here because I know you want to get to watching Bachelor in Paradise. But I did have my first melatonin sleep last night.
And how did that go? You were, okay, disclaimer. You were so paranoid. You were like, I don't know. You're like, am I going to wake up drowsy? Am I going to wake up like drowsy? Am I going to be,
I had no idea. I never had one before.
Am I going to be groggy tomorrow morning? Am I going to sleep through my alarm? And I'm surprised you weren't like, can you set your alarm too for my time just in case I sleep through mine?
I almost did, but the way that you the way that you said, you'll be fine, just told me that I didn't need to ask you to set me an alarm.
No.
But I woke up this morning. I felt great. It was super cold, though, this morning, so I didn't want to get out of bed. I said, how am I supposed to get out of these freaking covers when it's this cold? I went into the bathroom, turned on the shower, and I said, man, it's cold. I need to see how cold it is in here. I look at the thermostat, 58 in our house. And my nipples were so hard. I don't know how I didn't break the mirror in the shower from just cutting the glass in there.
It's so funny because, like, I was not, like, you were like, I was cold last night. And you were in, like, sweatpants and a long sleeve shirt. I'm sleeping in a T-shirt. And I actually slept in sweatpants, which I normally don't. And I was perfectly fine. I woke up and my hair was like crazy, like that. I was sweating in my sleep,
And here's the thing. We're in that weird time in Kentucky where
it's 50 degrees
it's
today.
50, but this weekend it's supposed to be a high of like 78.
Yeah.
So I really didn't want to commit to turning the heat on just yet for the season, but I was so cold I had to.
Yeah.
It's going to be right off after, Thursday. When Thursday rolls around, I think it's supposed to warm back up.
Yeah.
But for the most part, tomorrow it's going to be on. And we have it set really low, only at 63 or something.
Yeah, we have it set at like 63. And that's basically just to help with like overnight to kind of maintain it so we don't wake up and have it be
58.
Yeah.
And have my testicles all the way up to my chest.
I mean, Rory and I were cuddling in bed this morning. I was perfectly fine. I was not cold. The only thing that was cold was my nose because the fan was blowing on my nose. And that got my nose a little cold. But literally, I start work at 8:30 at work and on my work from home days. And so I set my alarm for 8:25. Got up.
I wish I could do that. Even when I work from home, I'll set my alarm for an hour before I need to be up. I'll lay in bed, but I'm still up. When my alarm goes off, I have to be up.
Nope.
Checking the TikToks, reading different articles, seeing if anything important happened overnight.
But you also wake up early. Like on your days in the office, you get up and like...
I get up at 6 o'clock for what?
For 8:30. You get up at the same time as I do when I have to be work at 7:30 that you have to be at work at 8:30. Because you like take your time and you sit and you scroll, and I don't want to do that in the morning. I want to get up and just get my shit done and then leave for work.
But here's the problem. You're not regular. I'm a regular pooper, okay? Mine hits pretty much every single morning before I go to work at about 7:45 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's in that window that it hits me.
So you have to be up in time to have your breakfast processed by then.
But part of that routine in the morning is having my coffee. So if I don't consume my coffee in time, that means my first dookie of the day is going to be in the office. I would rather have that happen in the comfort of my own home. Now, if I have to go again, I don't mind going at work.
But you want your first one of the day.
I want the first one of the day to be my cheeks on my toilet.
Do you watch TikToks at work when you poop?
No. Just because I don't want sound to be playing.
Oh, see, I bring my head. I don't have
Bluetooth headphones.
Oh yeah, I have my AirPods, so I just
scroll Twitter, which is essentially almost the same entertainment as TikTok to me.
Oh.
Even though it's not video, I can see headlines, read those. If there's a good story, click that.
I still can't
read through it.
Twitter.
It's super simple.
It's not.
It is.
Because I keep seeing things of people that I don't follow, and I don't
because they're
understand.
Suggesting things for you to follow.
I don't want. I only follow.
Then you don't have to.
All it shows is suggested people.
Right, because you don't have a huge following. There's not a lot of things that you engage on. So they're trying to suggest things to see if you'll engage on those things.
No.
If you were a little bit more of a daily user of it, you wouldn't have that because I don't have that in my timeline.
I can't figure out how to read a comment and thread. They're all in different orders, and I don't understand how to read them.
If there's a thread, you'll see it in order.
I don't. Because sometimes like it will be like you comment on something and then I click on it and it doesn't show me what you commented on, and it's just I don't understand it. It's not easy for me to read.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for the smut tale.
You're welcome. Maybe I'll have a good one next week too.
I hope so. What's the book that you're reading now?
A Not So Meet Cute. And it is a new spin on Pretty Woman.
Okay.
By the same author that I read of The Royally Not Ready.
I love Pretty Woman, the movie. It's a good one. So hopefully this can live up to that same standard.
I saw Pretty Woman for the first time when I went and stayed at my grandma's house to get my dress fitted.
You're kidding, right?
No. My grandma's
Julia
like,
Roberts?
yeah, she's like, do you want to watch Pretty Woman? I was like, I've never seen it.
It's a good movie.
It was really good. And ironically, the guy, when she like flings like the food or whatever at the restaurant, and the guy that catches it is the same person in Princess Diaries because it's the same director. So I also think it's kind of funny that the book I just read was a Princess Diaries kind of spinoff, and now I'm reading a like
They
Pretty
did that on
Woman-
purpose.
Pretty Woman spinoff.
All right. Well, thanks for the good Midwestern goodbye there. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
The best at it.
Oh, some other things to talk about here on the podcast today. Speaking of movies, A Christmas Story. You know, the one that plays on your TV for 24 straight hours? That is finally going to get a spinoff. Now, there have been some sort of like hokey spinoffs of A Christmas Story before, but HBO Max is picking it up. November 17th, that's when you could put on your calendar to watch A Christmas Story Christmas. Ralphie's going to be in there, and it's going to be, I hope, decent. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a huge A Christmas Story fan. I know there is a big following of it. If you really like A Christmas Story, that's good. I'm not here to judge you. I will never... I'll never make, I can't say make fun of you because I'll definitely make fun of you. But I'll never judge someone for liking something. I'll give you a hard time about liking it or disagree with it, but in a very fun manner. Like, I'm never going to be super serious about it. That's just the way that I am. Just like the way people are always to me when I talk about how I still watch wrestling. But A Christmas Story Christmas, I feel like, is the equivalent of trying to remake, and this is me not even being a Christmas Story fan, but it's like someone trying to cover Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's just not the same. It's not the same. There's been other people that tried different Christmas carols, and it's worked. But there's some that are in such a small genre, I feel like it's hard to be able to replicate that. And Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is in such a unique space that it's hard to replicate. And I think the same will be true for this sequel or spinoff, whatever the hell it's going to be, for A Christmas Story on HBO Max. I hope that it does well. The nostalgic reason is probably going to get a lot of views. If you canceled your HBO Max membership, you might be renewing that sumbitch come November, so that way you could watch this. I'm a Christmas movie connoisseur. The day after Thanksgiving, hell, even the day of Thanksgiving, and I'm not joking, I will watch Christmas movies. I would honestly bypass Thanksgiving, and that's going to be a whole episode when we get a little bit closer to Thanksgiving, because I think Thanksgiving is one of the most overrated holidays. But anyway, back to the whole Christmas movie thing. I can watch Christmas movies starting November 1st all the way until December 31st. And sometimes even on January 1. I could watch Christmas movies. I could watch the same one multiple times. I could watch different ones. But the point is, I watch Christmas movies for about 2 months long. I watch Elf, A Year Without a Santa Claus. When I'm telling you, I cover the whole board. Even the Hallmark Christmas movies, which I'm super embarrassed to admit. But every once in a while, you need one of those cheesy Christmas movies to watch. And I would take so many Christmas movies before I chose to sit down and watch A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story doesn't even rank in the top 5 of my Christmas movies. And once again, once we get closer to Christmas, I'll do a top 3 Christmas movies I'll do one of those lists. But A Christmas Story is not even sniffing probably my top 10. And everyone always yells at me, it's such an iconic movie. I mean, there's a reason why they play it for 24 hours straight. Yes, you're right. But it's still not my cup of tea. And if you were to ask me what movie could be played for 24 straight hours, that's Christmas, from Christmas Eve all the way through Christmas night, I think the better movie to put on there is Elf. It's such a more inviting movie. It's funnier, has great scenes, great characters. And I think all in all, I laugh more during that movie than a lot of other Christmas movies that are out there. So I could see Elf being one of those movies that could be on for 24 straight hours. With A Christmas Story being on for 24 straight hours, I've maybe seen A Christmas Story a total of 2 times. I sat down and watched it once from start to finish. And then throughout my life, just periodically to equal one full time of watching the movie. There's a lot of classic one-liners in there that you remember. There's the leg lamp that you see all over the place. But it's still not there for me. And I feel bad saying that because I'm a Christmas guy. I don't want to bash Christmas movies because I think any Christmas movie is a good movie except A Christmas Story. There's other bad ones too. There really is. I can't say that when I say I watch a Hallmark Christmas movie or a Lifetime Christmas movie. They're all the same plot line. You know what's going to happen. Someone has to come back to their hometown, and then they end up rekindling a relationship that they once had, one that everyone always ended up thinking the relationship was going to end in a marriage anyway. But now they're back in their hometown and they fall madly in love. Maybe I shouldn't admit that out loud, but I'm going to. It's what I like. Give me shit for it. Whatever. So HBO Max, next month, renew your subscription if you stopped. I know some people that will cancel after there's a show that they either finish watching or if it just rolls out. And then after that show is over for the season, they cancel and then they get back on when there's something more interesting on that channel again. And I bet there's going to be a day where there'll be more spin-offs for these Christmas movies. Speaking of other Christmas movies that are going to get kind of spin-offs this year, and I don't know if it's a movie. I think it's a TV show for Disney Plus, but the Santa Claus, Tim Allen, he's going to have another, I want to say it's a show. And I believe the premise is that Santa Claus wants to retire. And he needs to be able to hand the torch off to someone. Who's going to replace him? Could it be you? Could it be me? I've always said, if I ever saw Santa Claus on the top of my roof, I would make him fall. Yes, I know I basically admitted that I would be killing Santa Claus. But guess what happens? I become Santa Claus, so therefore I would forgive myself and be the Santa Claus. And then Nora would be Mrs. Claus. Doesn't seem like a bad life. Work really hard one day out of the year. Rest of the time off, you have people that work for you in like multiple levels. You have people working in your workshop, elves. And then you have imposters working for you at malls. just so that way they can relay the message up to you. I mean, there is a lot of reading to it. You have a lot of letters to go through to see what kids want. But it seems like a pretty cush job. At least the way that they depict it in the Santa Claus. Just saying. So those are a couple, and I think I saw one other Christmas movie that's supposed to be either getting like a sequel or a reboot or something like that on a streaming service. I don't remember which one, but when I find out, I will tell you. You have a great rest of your week, a good weekend. This is probably a popular weekend to go to a pumpkin patch because we're closing in on Halloween. That's just a couple of weeks away. So I'll talk to you on Monday, but thank you so much for showing up today. This is The Luke Kelly Show.